Hi, Ash Kelso here, co-founder and CEO of Hivelight, and I just want to address what I would call almost law firm math today. And it comes down to, well, without burying the lead, software is cheap, process improvement is cheap, headcount is risky and expensive. And what many firms will seem to do, right, is they'll go and put a cap on what they'll spend per head on software, say $300-400 or something, maybe more, maybe less. They will kick down the road doing process improvement because it is dull, but it does get results. But then readily approve trying to just throw bodies at a problem just by adding headcount. But the numbers don't stack up, right? At least, I mean, maybe I'm missing something, but when I apply myself to it, when I've done it before, is let's look at this. Okay, so you got a 20-person firm. Typical legal tech costs $100 a head. So for a year, what, 24 grand. Great. And then in that case, you're probably boosting the productivity and output of every member of that team. Or try to solve the problem with just pure headcount. Go hire even just one person. I mean, you're looking at over $100,000 for just a basic level hire. Plus, then you've got to manage them, do all the performance reviews, you've got the payroll, you've got the insurance, you've got to have somewhere to put them, give them their equipment. And then, while the software is available 24/7, that person's only on deck, 7 hours a day, plus they've got to have their 4 weeks holiday a year, you've got to pay their super and everything else on top of that. And then you've got to wait 3 to 6 months to see if they're actually going to work out. If they don't work out, then you've got to deal with employment law, then you've got to remove them, then you've got to start from scratch again, hire all over again, pay another recruitment fee potentially depending on the deal that you struck, and the recruitment fee could be pretty similar to the cost of what it would cost to just get the software in the first place. And then you're a quarter or two down the road and you still haven't really moved the needle on the problem, and in fact, you're behind because they took such a hit out of the business paying and training this person that, didn't work out. So what I would really recommend to people is don't go putting arbitrary caps on software. Don't go delaying your process improvement projects. In fact, what you should do, and in this order, is address the process improvement piece first, all right? Document how you're actually doing this part of the work, right? Because you might think you've got a capacity issue. You might think, well, we don't have the capacity to get the work done as it is, so we need to add more people. But what's really happening, quite likely, is you don't have the capacity to process the work the way that you're doing it now. And in business, you have to shift gears at certain points. You can't be operating as a 50-seat business in the same way that you were processing the work when you were 5 people, or you just graduated out of your lounge room working off your laptop. All right, you've got to be able to shift gears and leverage people, break things down even. So you might think, well, we need another solicitor, another attorney to get handle the workload. But do you? What if you do the process improvement project? You break down what needs to be done, and you actually can find out you can break off a lot of the work that the attorney was doing or the solicitor was doing, and a lot of that could actually be delegated, or at least a first pass done by a paralegal or a legal assistant or someone, and then checked over by the lawyer. And in that way, you can actually get a lot more legal work out of the team that you've got, and you can make easier hires. So it's easier to hire and train some of those less expensive staff than to go and find another solicitor who, lots of fun trying to get someone to learn new tricks when they've been in the game for a while. That's what I would suggest. So what you want to do is you want to start with your process improvement project. Document how you do the work, and that shouldn't take any more. The initial pass of it, you can get most of the benefit of this just by sitting down for an hour and just mapping out how you do it. Go around, ask people how they're doing their part of that piece as well. Get that down, have a look. Should we move a few things around? Have we got the right people in the right seats? Are we duplicating? Are we tripping over each other? Once you smooth that out and it moves like a production line, great. Now we've got a better baseline for how much capacity we actually need. Then go look at ways that you can get the software involved. The software is going to help you. It's going to reduce your net data entry. You might say add 5 minutes here, but you'll save an hour overall. That's a net massive benefit. So don't be scared of having to change a few things here or add a little bit of some extra data entry here if you save so much more time overall. That's what we're looking for. So you get the software involved, so you get some automation, you are able to move at a faster speed, because another thing you got to think about too is like if you're going to do this manually, then that's a person processing it rather than a machine. It's going to be slower. It can only be in one place at a time. So process improvement, see what the actual capacity is that you need. Apply the software, get some automation and cut out a lot of data entry. That strips it back even more. Then look at what roles you actually need to hire for. And at that point, by the time you've got the process improvement in place, you then know what you need to achieve with the software. And once you've got the processes and the software in place, then you've got the tools and the procedures and the metrics and everything in place for the new hire to come in and actually know where everything's up to and what they need to do and how to do it. So you save on your training costs as well. And that makes for a much more scalable approach and a way of doing things. So that's what I would say as a really solid way to go. And I say this out of experience, been there, done that. I have seen even just bare process improvement projects multiply the billable output of a section of a firm before, even in the midst of losing people. It can be done, and it's a lot surefire way of getting it done, right? So if you're going to roll out process improvement, it's faster, right? You can get results in weeks as opposed to months, right? And a much surer thing because you can do it in iterations. You can try a few things, get the feedback, iterate until you really get it right. Same with the software, right? And with the software, you're buying software instead of hiring someone. You've got a whole team and company there to support you and help you make that a success. Even if you've got to pay an implementation consultant, say if you had to do $100 a head, 24 grand a year for a 20 seat firm or whatever, and even if you've got to go and pay maybe that over again for a consultant to help you roll it out, really hold your hand through the process, you're still paying less than half the money that you would if you had to go and hire someone, and you're getting a solution in place sooner, and you own that, right? Whereas that person could decide they're not happy and just leave, and now out they go with all the knowledge in their head, the connections that they've got, and then you've got to go on the detective work to work out where everything's up to for the next poor person that comes in to replace them. So yeah, process improvement, software, cheap, fast, much more control over making sure that works out. Then go to hire, and don't put a cap on it, because if you think in terms of I could invest 50 grand and then get $500,000 back, who cares if that's software or process improvement or people? You'd make that investment. So don't put arbitrary caps on what you want to spend to make money in your business. The overall game is to succeed, improve and maintain those profit margins, and have something really valuable at the end of the day. So at some point in the future, when you want an exit, you've got a system, you've got something you can bundle up and that you can sell, and that you can sit on your beach sipping margaritas and pina coladas and be done with it all. So that's my 2 cents. Till next time, cheers.